The dawn of civilization, the rise of cities. The story of human civilization is, in many ways, the story of cities. For most of human history, people lived as nomadic hunter-gatherers, moving from place to place in search of food. But around 10,000 BCE, a transformation began. The domestication of plants and animals led to the establishment of permanent settlements. As agriculture flourished, small villages grew, trade expanded, and societies became more complex. Over time, some of these settlements developed into the world's first cities, marking the birth of organized government, written language, monumental architecture, and specialized labor. The rise of cities was not just about population growth, it was a shift in how humans lived and interacted, bringing together large groups of people in structured, interdependent communities. The cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia. One of the earliest regions to witness the rise of cities was Mesopotamia, a fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, in what is now modern Iraq. Around 4000 BCE, the Sumerians built Uruk, often considered the first true city in history. Uruk had towering walls, grand temples called ziggurats, and a thriving economy based on trade and agriculture. Mesopotamian cities were the birthplace of many of the world's first innovations. The Sumerians developed cuneiform writing, which allowed them to keep records, communicate across distances, and create laws. City-states like Ur, Nippur, and Babylon emerged as powerful centers of administration, ruled by kings who controlled land, labor, and religious institutions. But life in early cities was not without challenges. Frequent conflicts between city-states led to the rise of militarized societies, where rulers needed strong armies to defend their walls and expand their influence. The famous Code of Hammurabi, established in Babylon, became one of the earliest legal systems, ensuring order in an increasingly complex urban world. Egypt, cities along the Nile. While Mesopotamian cities grew in the unpredictable floodplains of the Tigris and Euphrates, Egypt's urban centers developed in the more stable and predictable environment of the Nile River Valley. Here, the annual flooding of the Nile provided fertile soil, allowing Egyptian society to flourish with minimal disruption. Egyptian cities like Memphis and Thebes were primarily administrative and religious centers, built around massive temples and royal palaces. Unlike the independent city-states of Mesopotamia, Egyptian civilization was highly centralized, ruled by powerful pharaohs who were seen as divine figures. Urban life in Egypt revolved around the temples, where priests conducted rituals and managed the economy. The construction of the Great Pyramids near cities like Giza demonstrated not only the architectural prowess of Egyptian civilization but also the ability of cities to organize large-scale projects, requiring thousands of laborious engineers and artisans. The Indus Valley Civilization, cities of precision. Further east, along the Indus River in present-day Pakistan and India, another remarkable civilization was taking shape. Around 2600 BCE, cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro emerged, showcasing an extraordinary level of urban planning. Unlike Mesopotamian and Egyptian cities, which grew somewhat organically, Indus cities were carefully designed with grid-like streets, advanced drainage systems, and standardized brick buildings. The presence of large granaries and public baths suggests a highly organized society with a focus on hygiene and public welfare. Yet, much about the Indus Valley civilization remains a mystery. Unlike Mesopotamians and Egyptians, the Indus people left behind a script that has yet to be fully deciphered, leaving historians to speculate about their governance, social structures, and eventual decline. By 1900 BCE, these cities were abandoned, possibly due to climate change, shifting river courses, or invasion by outside groups. Ancient China, walled cities and dynasties. In China, cities began to emerge along the Yellow River during the Shang dynasty, circa 1600 BCE, 1046 BCE. Early Chinese cities like Anyang were heavily fortified, with massive walls protecting palaces, workshops, and religious centers. Unlike the city-states of Mesopotamia or the centralized rule of Egypt, early Chinese cities were often built as political and ritual capitals rather than purely economic hubs. The Shang rulers were known for their use of oracle bones, engraved with early forms of Chinese writing, to predict the future and communicate with ancestors. As dynasties rose and fell, cities continued to play a crucial role in Chinese civilization. By the time of the Qin dynasty, 221 BCE, 206 BCE, cities like Elevenan, Chang'an, became vital centers of administration and trade, serving as the starting point of the Silk Road, which connected China to the wider world. Mesoamerican cities, the rise of monumental urban centers. In the Americas, cities developed independently of those in Eurasia. The earliest urban centers were built by the Olmecs, circa 1200 BCE, in what is now Mexico, but it was the Maya, Aztec, and Inca civilizations that created some of the most impressive cities of the ancient world. The Maya built cities like Tikal and Chichen Itza, known for their towering pyramids, ball courts, and astronomical observatories. Unlike many other early civilizations, Maya cities were not unified under a single empire but instead functioned as independent city-states, often engaging in warfare and alliances. By the 14th century, the Aztecs built Tenochtitlan, a sprawling city in the middle of a lake, complete with floating gardens, chinampas, vast markets, and grand temples. At its peak, Tenochtitlan was home to over 200,000 people, making it one of the largest cities in the world at the time. Further south, the Incas built Cusco and Machu Picchu, relying on stone architecture and a sophisticated road system that connected their mountainous empire. Though they lacked a formal writing system, the Incas used quipus, knotted cords, to record information, showing how cities could function without traditional scripts. The legacy of early cities. The rise of cities was a turning point in human history, allowing for the development of writing, government, religion, trade, and monumental architecture. The innovations that emerged from these early urban centers laid the foundation for modern civilization, shaping the way people live, work, and interact to this day. From Uruk to Thebes, Harappa to Elevenan, and Tenochtitlan to Rome, the first cities were more than just settlements, they were the engines of progress, driving human society forward and leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire the cities of today.